There was a briefing, of course, with Michael Hendrikse of the IEC in the Western Cape. Lindsay, it was a briefing that basically gave us a sense of the weather playing a role, but also issues of logistics and initial hiccups that have to do with the specificity of this particular election. It's not one where you can deliver a ballot that's just marked ANC anyway in the province and it's good enough. The right ballot needs to go to the right ward with the right candidates, and it seems there were instances where that didn't quite happen.
Yes, Tulas, and we can't underscore the impact the weather is having here in the Cape today. At least 19 voting stations did not open on time, but the IEC now reporting that that problem has been sorted out, that all the voting stations are open. There were also issues of temporary structures, also again as a result of the weather having to be secured, and we cannot really underscore what impact this could be having on voter turnout today. Tulas, we know that the IEC conducted a very robust drive, particularly to get young people to register to vote. And a day like today in the informal settlements, many people probably more concerned about keeping their belongings dry than maybe turning out to vote. But to talk to us about this, I have Riza Omar of Citizen Surveys to discuss the importance of the youth vote. Riza, thank you for your time and for joining us here. You've done some polling regarding the youth and their kind of sentiment, given where we find ourselves in the socio-economic landscape of the country. How do you expect this to impact the youth vote in this election?
This election is a test of the credibility of the South African democracy. 4.6 million youth out of 26.2 million registered came out to register with the IEC and are eligible to vote. But youth turnout at the polls has continued to drop. So we asked South Africans the question after the last poll election, to what extent do they agree that political parties just want my vote and afterwards they do whatever they want? 82% of South Africans agreed with that sentiment. We also asked South Africans, how satisfied are you with the democracy? And just under half of South Africans were not satisfied with the democracy. And this sentiment is mainly held amongst the youth.
When we talk about the youth, we tend to speak about those who might only born at the time, the dawn of democracy, but the nature of their lives has changed quite significantly. Themselves now have families. So what do you think they put on top of their agenda when it comes to making a mark for a political party today?
One of the things we know is the effect of COVID that has had a dramatic impact on the lives of the born-frees. Many of the born-frees at this particular stage in time have children of their own and want a better life for their children. However, the National Income Dynamics Survey has reported that 750,000 children during this COVID period have dropped out of school. The Department of Education has also said that nearly 1,700 teachers have succumbed to COVID. This means that there will be a crisis in the education system, and these young people's children are less likely in the future to be able to find work and are more likely to fall into poverty and destitution.
Thank you very much. Riza Omar from Citizen Survey. So, Tulas, as you can well appreciate, a lot of factors at play. We think people are only concerned with the kind of services they deliver. But as Riza Omar from Citizen Surveys has pointed out, the socio-economic climate many people find themselves in, especially so-called born-free families that they find themselves in, could very likely have an impact on the kind of decision-making they make today, Tulas.
Yeah. Look, we're covering everything from the metropoles to the dorpies and small towns and the hinterland, and we go to the hamlet and the villages. So from Cape Town, let me take you to Lichtenburg, and that's in the northwest province. We find eNCA's Pule Letshwiti-Jones. Pule, the issues of service delivery there have been in sharp focus. I'm wondering, with 5 hours into voting, if the pinch that the local residents have been feeling over the last few years has actually moved them to form queues at polling stations.
Well, yes, very good morning to us. And what we understand here is that, the weather is encouraging and has allowed a lot of voters to actually come and cast their votes as well. And the dynamics are quite clear. We do know that in this Ward 3, it is where there's a dominance of the ANC, followed by the EFF, Forum for Service Delivery, the DA, and then the independent candidates coming in there, encouraging voters to actually sway their way and their direction to place them in charge. But I'm just going to be quite short here because there's also been allegations at this IEC station where we are, particularly in Lichtenburg, of integrity processes that have been tampered with. Joining me now is Yusuf from the DA, who's going to give us clarity about that. Thank you very much for joining us. So you've raised serious concerns around the voting processes and ballot boxes allegedly being opened in this voting station here.
Yes, thank you so much, Pule. As the DA, we sat in an extensive meeting last night, MPLC meeting with the IEC and other political parties, where the issue has been raised where ballot boxes haven't been sealed properly on either side, which makes for enough room for an individual's hand to fit in and tamper with the box. It's an allegation for now. So what we as the DA have done is we've raised it with the IEC, and it's been taken up at a provincial level, and we are awaiting the outcome. And currently the integrity of voters has been violated, and the IEC have clearly shown on whose side they are. Thank you so much.
You mentioned something about an official being suspended or removed from facilitating the voting process here today.
Yes, due to the seals not being sealed properly on the ballot boxes, it was agreed in the MPLC meeting yesterday that the presiding officer should not come to the voting station today as a presiding officer, and this morning she came as a presiding officer, and the voting station wasn't open up until 9 a.m. because, as we know, it was agreed at an MPLC meeting that she shouldn't be here, although she came here this morning.
All right, thank you very much, Yusuf.
Thank you, Pule.
All right, in that matter there, Tula, just a quick one again. Independent candidates here raising some of those concerns as well, saying they've opened a case and that. Thank you very much for joining us on eNCA. Now, you've taken a stance to say you will take the matter forward by opening a case of what particularly happened there. Yusuf has explained that they were in an extensive meeting yesterday with some of their caucus and DA leadership. What are your concerns as well?
Thank you very much. Our concern as the independent in what is that yes, the integrity of our voters was violated, and also the rights of our voters also was totally abused, whereby actually where we are sitting, actually there's no integrity, there's no honesty, there's no fair and free elections. Yes, I can confirm that actually yesterday we had that meeting yesterday with the IEC and all political party, whereby actually then actually want to question the IEC how did the ballot boxes of what 3 of the 30 and the 31st and been tempered, and the IEC actually was not responding, and the meeting actually did not have actually responses towards what transpired and what happened. What they only told us is that actually they acknowledged the mistake that was happened. They don't know what happened. Yes, they confirmed that the ballot boxes were opened, but they are going to do the further investigations within the parameters of the IEC. And they also advised us to go to the police station and open a case with all the political parties. We did that. We're having the case number in our possession, and therefore we are waiting for the police actually to do their job. But where we stand actually, we are saying that actually we are having a great doubt, and we don't know actually if actually the outcome of this election will be free and fair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, I'm just going to wrap it and keep it as it is right now, Tulas, but we'll continue to monitor the situation here. As you've heard, there are quite serious concerns that have been raised by independent candidates and, of course, the DA. And just probably just a recap of what I said earlier, the numbers here are quite strong, with the ANC being in favour, followed by the EFF, then Forum for Service Delivery, the DA, and independent candidates showcasing what they can be made out of, asking voters to go their way. And we do know that, there's quite highly profiled ANC officials who casted their votes in the province, such as Thandi Modise was in Mahikeng. My colleague Mango was following the Premier in Vryburg as well, Bushimape. And of course, Albert Papela, ANC NEC member, will be in the area today, also swaying voters and looking at what's happening at the voting stations to facilitate the processes as well.
All right, Pule Letshwiti-Jones will keep track with your reporting throughout the day.